Hello and welcome, everyone. It's time for the last episode of 2024 of IT Career in Australia channel. And tonight is going to be basically end of the year questions and answers. So I'm going to share some of my favorite simple networking tips. It's your chance to ask me questions and also help me to shape this channel and the content for the next year. So thank you so much for finding some time joining me this evening. As usual, please don't forget to introduce yourselves in the comments. Let me know where you're joining me from and what you do. Join this Q&A session with your questions, of course, or at least say hi in the comments. So I know that you're here and I know that you're watching. We had a lot of people register for this event. So I hope to see a lot of you online. But if you're not saying hi in the comments, I can't see you and I don't know what you hear. So please say hi. So as you know, I'm going live on this channel every Wednesday, interviewing various experts from my network. But tonight, I don't have any guests. I'm going to answer your questions based on my personal experience. So again, generally encourage you to participate and not only ask questions, but also maybe provide some feedback for me about this group, about this channel, about the topics. If you share your thoughts on the content and let me know what topics and events you would like to see in the upcoming year within the community, that would be great. It will really help me to shape some content. And also your feedback is really important for some upcoming face-to-face events, some directions for upcoming activities. So yes, I hope we can make 2025 a great fun year as well. So, before I deep dive into today's topic, I just want to quickly remind you again, I'm streaming on LinkedIn and the YouTube. So if you're watching me on YouTube, don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. If you're watching me on LinkedIn, don't forget to connect with me on the YouTube. So also obviously subscribe, join, get to the meetup group and all these things. You know what to do. So there's few people saying hi. Thank you guys for saying hi. Mark is here. Max is here from Melbourne. James here from Melbourne, software developer. James is always here. Thank you. David from Sydney. Rahul from New Zealand. Vishnu from Melbourne. Priya from Melbourne. Paul here, Mandy here. So there's so many people. Thank you everyone for saying hi. David, web developer, Sam from Melbourne, Shilpa. Thank you guys for saying hi. Great to see you here. It's really actually exciting to see how many people join this event, because it's an event just only with me, so not other guests. So I assume that you actually want to hear something from me, which is kind of encouraging, I mean, I'm glad that you're here. So, okay, how are we going to do? I'm just going to do a really quick presentation with some of my networking tips. They all quite simple, but I think they're important to talk about. And then obviously feel free to ask me any questions while I finish with some main tips. Cool, I even have some slides today. You see how prepared I am. Okay, so obviously here's my LinkedIn page. If you're not there yet for any reasons, make sure to go and connect with me on LinkedIn. As you can see, I have over 22,000 people connected me on LinkedIn. So I must be doing something right about networking. So hopefully. So of course, it took me some time to build this network. But look, I must say, I myself have really non-linear career journey. I have a psychology degree and I moved to Australia after I finished my degree, and I spent a few years in hospitality. And, all my career transitions were largely been driven by my network, to be honest. And I never really kind of had any particular career goals in mind. So I always talk to people and I'll see what's new, and some amazing opportunities come up my way. Basically, when I was networking a lot on LinkedIn, I connect with a lot of people from the IT industry. I get a really interesting contract with DevOps Talks conference. That's how I build even more network with IT community. And, then the COVID hit, it sort of make a lot of sense for me to move to talent acquisition in the tech, because I already built that network in tech. but it's never been my career goal, anything. So I sort of just follow my network, follow the people, talk to people, and that's basically shaped my career. I'm not saying that's a great strategy. I always admire people who have like really good goals and, and finish uni and then start working on this profession and, build a massive expertise in one area. But look, I'm just, I guess, letting you know that your career doesn't need to be linear. So there is also some, area to swap and change. And if you're thinking about transitioning into different career, look, your network always can help you. And it's amazing how much value just talking to people can bring to the table. So, and which is brings me to the next point is why networking is so important. Yes, why I'm talking all this about networking and encourage you to come to all these networking events. Look, I mean, there's a few things. Obviously, if you're looking for your next job, networking is really important because there is so many AI generated applications at the moment. It's complete overload of applications, and the market is a little bit on not on the candidate sides as well. So I always encourage you to network because some jobs actually never gonna be advertised. And I'm not saying that it's like 80% of jobs is not advertised. It's a bit of an overkill. Yeah, it's not like 80% of jobs, but there is definitely a percentage of jobs that, and I can't tell you the percentage, don't quote me on this, but there is definitely like percentage of job will never get advertised. And I think also it will be mostly jobs from the smaller companies often rather than bigger ones, because bigger ones usually need to go through really kind of strict process, especially government. They have all the procurements and, like strict guidelines. But a lot of smaller companies, they don't have that time and ability to go through each application and advertise this job. So it's basically like if they need someone a bit more general, if it's not like super specific skills, especially for junior position. Yeah, of course, if someone looking for, I don't know, super senior Java developer with the DevOps skills and 5 years in AWS, they probably advertise for some specific skills. But if it's more like junior software engineer, most likely they're not gonna advertise because they just get flooded with applications, and it'll be really, really hard to go through all of them and reply to all the people. So most likely the first thing from the talent acquisition team, what I would do if I have a junior role, I ask if someone knows someone. That's the first thing I'll do. And if some of the people in my team already know someone, that's the first people I will be talking with, because it's already have this trust because they maybe work with this person, they know this person. So it's basically how it works, because even for senior positions, recommendations go a long way. If you know that this person worked with someone before, they can trust them, it's way more powerful than trying to put them through 5 rounds of interviews. And like, let's be honest, we're all trying to improve interview process every time and come up with some, tests and like cultural fit and this and that. But it is an incredibly difficult task by 2 interactions with the person, like 1 hour with the hiring manager, 1 hour with like talent acquisition team, and maybe, half an hour with CTO. After these 3 interactions, it's really hard to be sure that this person is the perfect fit for the job. Yeah, it's not that much interaction. So that's why a lot of hiring managers will go for recommendations, because if someone worked with this person before, it's a safer option. So it's some proof, it's some social proof that this person can be good in a job. So that's why I'm talking that networking is really important. Saying this, I'm not saying that if you just apply on a job and seek and go through all the rounds interviews, you won't get a job. Yes, you will. Networking is not the only way to get a job, but it helps heaps. And especially when you get to more and more niche roles, with the niche network, it's even more helpful. You probably don't even need to apply for jobs ever again if you build your network correctly. And some cool jobs usually don't get advertised, because if it's a cool job, everyone wants it. So they give it for, people they know straight away. So it's, quite a few things about networking. And I guess I convince you that, the networking should be part of your, not only job search strategy, networking should be part of your life. Yeah, it is an important skill to have. I guess I want to just give a really, really quick example. I usually don't hire any junior roles, but actually last time I hired junior role, we needed the junior QA. I didn't advertise because I knew that I'll just get flooded with the resumes. I actually went straight to Vikas, who runs software test automation group, because I knew him from my personal network, and told him, look, the QA, not really common role we're hiring. I really need a junior QA. Can you recommend me someone? And he sent me like 3 resumes. I hire one of these people. So that's how it works. Because for me to advertise junior QA, I will have to go through 200 applications. So networking definitely works. And I think for junior roles, 100% it works even stronger. And so here's few tips how to start networking. So again, not rocket science about the networking, but never overlook your internal networking. So if you're already working in the company, try to reconnect people in this company. And those people usually will be the best advocates and vouch for you for the future roles. Not only next role, it's not like, sometimes people worried like, what if these people will know that I'm gonna leave, and, I don't want them to know that I'm looking for another job. It doesn't need to be like next jobs. Like sometimes, you need someone to recommend you few years down the track. It doesn't matter that like they only recommend you for your next role. So make sure to build those internal connections, and not only with people who you're working immediately, but if you're working for a big organization, the options are endless. So you can reach out to people in other departments, in another country even, just anywhere. And sometimes there's some guidelines in the companies. You might want to check with your manager, let them know that what you're doing, you're engaging to people in the different departments, so it doesn't look like your manager like, oh, what are you doing? Why are you talking to these people? So you might want to talk with your manager about it and saying, that's what I'm doing. I want to build some networks. Yes, so you can even look for some mentoring opportunities with people from different departments. So never underestimate how powerful the internal networking can be. So, and yeah, maybe if you're working for a big company, that's already enough for you to start kind of building a network. You might not even need to go externally at this point. But obviously, going externally and network with people outside your company will bring you fresh perspective and some different ideas too. And the obvious places, obviously industry events, some conference, meetups, workshops, and you can find them in the various platforms. And there is online networking where you can, connect people to LinkedIn and in the different online groups and forums. Let me just quickly go through a few points about, especially industry events. That's not a comprehensive list of what you need to do at the industry events, but it's some things that I think important to remember when you start going to these face-to-face events and start networking. So there's quite a few platforms, where you can find these events. Majority of you find my event on Meetup, and Meetup is still really popular, and you can really kind of like connect with people in the group. And Meetup is sometimes better than Eventbrite and Humanetics in a way that you can see how many people going to event and who's going to event, which is always helpful because you can connect with these people before. And also you can explore some industry events on some company websites. If you're working in the cloud, you can go to AWS and see what sort of industry events they're doing, or Google, or Azure, and then Microsoft. So there is a lot of those events as well. So sometimes they're only on the company website. but often they put them on meetups as well, and Eventbrite and Humanetics platforms. So definitely, sometimes it's as simple as Googling in the beginning. But once you sort of start attending some of these events, I always recommend ask people who are attending the same events for some recommendations. Because some events is not that easy to find online. Or it could be some closed events or invitation-only events. So make sure when you come to the event, maybe, I don't know, you're interested in project management and you come to meet up for project managers. Just make sure to ask, like, what other relevant events are you attending? It could be, sometimes, I'm surprised at some meetup groups. The names is not really self-explanatory. So I think it's some group that's called Cockerheads or something, but it's actually a software engineering group. So sometimes you just don't know about the group, and you can't really just Google it and it doesn't come up in the search. Or sometimes it could be like a Slack channel. People do close Slack channel, or even like WhatsApp groups and close LinkedIn groups. So you probably won't find those groups that easily unless you know someone from there. So just make sure to ask people for recommendations for some relevant events. And yeah, I mentioned it, connect before you go. So especially if you a bit nervous going to some events where there'll be a bunch of people you don't know, try to connect with someone before you go. And then the meetup, you can actually see the list of people who are attending, so you can reach out to them. It doesn't mean that you need to reach out to them on Meetup. Find them on LinkedIn and ping them on LinkedIn and say like, oh, I've seen you like attending such and such events. Would love to catch up. It's my first time I'm going to this event. Would like to reconnect with people. If it's not on Meetup, so you can't really see attendees list, often you can see organizer name or like speakers. So you can also connect with these people. I mean, like, be careful connecting with organizers because they're often really, really busy. So if they don't reply, don't get upset. But there's definitely some ways to kind of find who's attending. And it's a really powerful thing to just send a quick message, looking forward to seeing this event. If it's a big conference, you can even allocate some time to meet. So if you really wanted to connect with some person, you can say, I've noticed you will be at this conference. I would love to, grab 30 minutes of your time. Let's have a coffee between these talks and pre-arrange this meeting. So it's much, much more powerful to pre-arrange the meeting than you like going to the conference and trying to find this person. But, even if the person doesn't reply, you already started connection. So again, don't think that like, oh my God, I messaged this person, they didn't reply. Doesn't matter, they're busy. So it's, don't take it personally. And consistency over quality. So what I mean by that, once you sort of explore different industry events and what's out there, choose the ones that you enjoy the most. So yes, it's tempting just to keep going to different events and meeting different people and just, see fresh faces and, different topics. But consistency builds trust. So if you regularly go to the same event, you can actually build this connection with people. And people start recognizing you, and you basically start building that connection. You're not just like someone they meet once in an event and forgot who you are. You're actually there, you're consistently there. The conversation is getting better and better every time. And make sure to follow up after events. And look, it depends. Like sometimes you meet someone and maybe there is not immediate sort of connection, and there is no immediate maybe like a value exchange between you. But I always say just send a quick follow-up message, just a really simple. If you're not planning maybe catching up with this person anytime soon, but at least say something like, great to meet you at this event, because you never know, especially if you're in the beginning of your career. How many times you look at LinkedIn and you're like, I met this person before, I just don't remember where. But then you click on the message and the message pop up, great to meet you at, I don't know, DevOps Talk conference. And you're like, yes, I met them there. That makes sense. And some dots start connecting. So I usually really recommend it to do it as a little habit. Just follow up with everyone you spoke, just just to kind of like get this touch point. And with the people who really click and want to connect and continue conversation, usually it's a good habit to ask their preference. What's the best way to stay in touch? I mean, I live on LinkedIn. I'm 24/7 on LinkedIn. It's always easy for me just to connect on LinkedIn and message on LinkedIn, but not obviously everyone like that. Some people love connect through the email. Maybe some people use WhatsApp. For example, I not that often picking up phone calls, because usually the phone call could be quite distracting when you're trying to work and someone calling you. So I much prefer to connect with people on LinkedIn, because I allocate some time to reply to my LinkedIn messages, and I usually do it in one go, like at allocated time of the day. But other people could be different. They might never check their LinkedIn messages and they really prefer the phone call. So just check. I'm actually curious to know, whoever's listening, what's your usually preferred way to stay in touch? Like, how do you usually connect with people? If you met them at events, do you send them email? Do you call them? So would be curious to know what's, everyone's vibe. So let me know in the comments. And yeah, so obviously it's just a few little tips here, but I think they could be, really, really helpful especially when you're starting out. And that consistency of finding that event that you enjoy and consistently attending it's quite important. And I think sometimes people get discouraged because they go to a few events. Excuse me. You go to a few events, you don't really enjoy them, or you feel like, you didn't connect with anyone. Like, don't get discouraged. Sometimes, you need to attend quite a few to find the one that you really enjoy. So, and also, obviously, a part of the face-to-face, you have some opportunity to connect online. And a few people asking, yes, Mark saying LinkedIn, Max saying same, email, mostly LinkedIn, or who's saying LinkedIn. Yeah, so I think like LinkedIn now, it's the most common way for like professional networking. So usually people who go to networking events, they usually have a LinkedIn, because that's how they build their professional network. That brings me to some tips about online networking. So I think especially when you're new, maybe to LinkedIn, you don't have the big network yet. It could be a bit, I don't know, not really clear where to start connecting with people. So obviously you should try to connect with your ex-colleagues, current colleagues and things like that. You can even actually on LinkedIn upload your contact list from your Gmail or previous like email account, and connect with people through your contact list, so that it will send the email to that list of people, if saying that you're inviting them to connect to LinkedIn. So that could be always a really good place to start on LinkedIn. I mean, sometimes people worried about, I'll upload this contact and it will be, I don't know, my mother-in-law in this contact. But come on, look, yes, connect with your mother-in-law on LinkedIn. Nothing wrong with that. So it's always, good starting point, and engage with the people who are active on LinkedIn. So people who actively posting on LinkedIn and have a lot of connections, they're actually most likely usually to reply as well. So if you connect with someone on LinkedIn who doesn't have a profile picture and haven't posted for a while, so it's probably low chance that they're gonna reply too. So it's a kind of like the easy way to start. Connect with people who already active and posting and connecting with others. I think it's a really good good strategy on LinkedIn to connect with people with similar roles. Invite them for some, virtual coffee chats about the career, about the challenges, how they, enjoying their role, what's next for them. So, because if this person have the similar role as you, then you can really kind of like connect, and you already have some topics to talk about. It's not really, like coming up with some excuse to connect or anything like that. So I think connecting with people in similar roles, in similar stage of the career is is a sort of simple, easy first step. And also, follow your dream companies, especially, again, on LinkedIn. If you're following and connecting with the content of your or companies you want to work for, it's actually not only gives you, some updates about the company, it's also increasing the probability that if this company will advertise a job, then you probably will see it because you're already following a company. The LinkedIn algorithm will pop the job into your whatever the job tab on LinkedIn because you're following this company. And also vice versa. If the company that hiring has a LinkedIn recruiter, they have an option to tick the box that's called most likely to engage. And that box means that they will see the connection they will see the profiles of the people who following this company on LinkedIn. So basically, you're increasing your chances to be seen by this company. But I also always feel like if you have this dream company in mind, yes, so I don't know, you really want to work for Canva, just go and connect with anyone from Canva, take them for coffee, take them for virtual coffee, go to Canva events that they're running, find the meetup group, go on the website, see what they're posting, so what sort of events they're sponsoring. So you can really, really engage. And, it's not, it's completely normal. It's not creepy or anything if you're consistently engage with company content. So the company actually appreciate if you, engaging, commenting, and sharing. So they see that you're really like loyal and interested. So I definitely recommend doing this. So hit the like button, 100%. So yes, so there's obviously a lot more you can do online, but just start with this, just start with the simple things. Start connecting with people in dream companies in similar careers, or people who working in the roles you're dreaming about to work for. Yeah, you really want to go do this role in the 5 years time. Connect with this person, ask them like, how did you what was your career journey? How did you get to this role? Like what's challenges, what you do, what you like, what you don't like about this role. So look, there's a lot of tips about the LinkedIn networking. We talk with Natalia and Natalia. If you haven't seen this stream, it's been a few weeks ago in November. I really recommend to go back and actually watch this live stream. There's more tips about how to network on LinkedIn to land your next job. So definitely check out this live stream. So one thing I just want to make sure that everyone pay attention to, and it's the most common networking mistake. And here's a picture from one of my connection, Naish. He actually wrote quite a fun book. It's called the book of Big Book of Career Doodles. Check it out if you haven't seen this one before. So he basically saying the biggest mistakes is only starting to network when you basically need a job. And I've seen it time and time again. People suddenly rush into networking events when they're job hunting, especially, expecting quick results. So he's networking paradox picture where it's basically highlighting that the key to successful networking is to build relationship first and only later start ask for a job, because asking for a job is a yes or no question, and often answer is no. Yeah, if you come to someone on an event and say do you have a job? No, that's it. The conversation is over. But if you already build a relationship, the dynamic is different. You already build this trust and conversation become more meaningful. So make sure never ask about the job on the first interaction. It's almost like that asking to get married on the first date, the most common parallel. So yes, and if you want more tips from Nash, definitely watch one of our streams we did with him last year about finding your first job in Australia. So it's definitely this stream filled with a lot of useful tips. So here's a few networking tips for success. So I already said, the most common mistake is that being like transactional. So avoid being transactional. Again, just wanna repeat it again. Never ask just for a job in the first message. It's so I guess disengaging when someone just sends you resume on LinkedIn without any kind of previous interaction. So it's a really, really low chance that any hiring manager gonna open your resume if you just out of the blue send the resume and said that you're looking for a job. Like, yes, some miracles happen. Yeah, and you just got them in the right time that maybe they were looking for this role, but most of the time, if you just blindly send someone a resume, no one gonna really reply to that. So think about, and even in face-to-face events, sometimes when you in the face-to-face events, you can ask for a job in the first interaction, maybe just not the first question. Yeah, it's not like you start talking with anyone or what you do or are you hiring, so you're not doing this. But if you've spoken with someone for like 10 minutes, you can kind of lean the conversation towards the fact that you might be looking for some new opportunity. But you know how like sometimes we go to some networking event and there is one person there that just feels like they there just for them. They there just because they want to get something out of it. And it just feels this way sometimes. These people, they just there to, I don't know, just get some leads, only talk with like one person they want to talk and just disappear. So, I mean, try not to be this person. Yes, we need to be strategic about our networking. Of course, it's not like we, can connect with everyone and get to know everyone in the event, but make sure have this balance. Be strategic, but not transactional. So think about who you want to connect at the event. Think about the key people you want to speak with, but just don't, bring that energy to the room that like, okay, I'm here, I'm only going to talk with these 3 people and I'm going to disappear after that. So people see it, people feel it. So make sure to come with different mindset, be helpful, think how you can actually help people when you come to these events. Even if you junior in your career, there's absolutely some ways you can help, yeah? And you can also share some news, industry news and resources, and you can invite people to relevant events. Remember how I said, like, ask people for recommendations for events? You can give people recommendations for events, the events that you maybe attended and liked or didn't like. There is all these ways to be helpful. And also there is ways to connect others. So when you come to the networking event, it's not only about like, oh my God, who do I need to connect? It's also about thinking who I connect to who. So think about, okay, so I just met this person. I think they will be a great connection to such and such. And, have a moment to think, who would I introduce this person to? And when you, sometimes this person may be not relevant, so relevant to you, but they may be so relevant to that other person. And imagine if we are consistently introducing each other to relevant contexts, how much more efficient and effective networking could be. So start thinking from that space, yeah, not only who I can connect with, but also how I can connect other people between each other. And ask interesting questions. I think people always remember people who actually ask interesting questions rather than talk about themselves, because we all know that most people enjoy talking about themselves. So instead of focusing on, sharing everything about you, let them talk. The chances that they remember the conversation more because they felt like they heard and appreciated. And if you're not sure what sort of interesting questions to ask, you know what? You can ask ChatGPT. Yes, you can just ask ChatGPT, help me to brainstorm a list of interesting questions to ask at networking event. And then pick the ones that resonate with you. And you obviously you don't need to go with exact recommendation from ChatGPT, but rinse and repeat. Pick the ones you like, try them, and use something else other time. It could be it doesn't need to be something outrageous. It could be questions about, I don't know, what podcast you're listening at the moment. And could be simple questions. What the last interesting event in this area you attended? So, and let people talk about their experience. Or I don't know, what's the most interesting thing happened with you this year? So you can go, different ways. You can keep it simple. You can keep it a bit more out there, but just see what works for you and what suits your personality as well. But again, make it about people. Listen to their story. Don't try just to share your story and everything about yourself and how good you are and what you've done. People will ask, if they let them talk, people will ask back. And obviously, stay in touch, and you can choose different ways to stay in touch. Obviously, depends on their preferred method. Maybe some people love catching up for coffee. Some people just prefer a phone call. Some people just prefer quick LinkedIn message or sharing some interesting article or sharing some interesting podcast. Some people might subscribe to your newsletter if you have a newsletter. And you can ask people, like, is it okay if I'll add you to my newsletter list? That's the simple way to stay in touch. Maybe it's less personal, but still, like, that this person is in your network. And I think the last tip I want to leave you with today is make sure to build the habit. The networking is a regular practice, not some one-off task. Again, don't be that person that suddenly, like, oh my God, I need the job. Oh my God, I need something. I'll go network. Just make the networking is your habit. Try to attend like some industry events. If you can attend the industry event like every month, commit to some meetup group. Great. I know we're all busy, but I think you can try to block, once a month in your calendar. If you're back in the city, maybe, in the city a few days a week, maybe make one of those days when you're in the city your coffee day and invite some of your connection for a coffee or for lunch. If once a week is too much, do it once in fortnight or once in a month. Again, it's just about the creating habit. If you put something in your calendar, here's my networking lunch, I make sure I invite someone for lunch on this day, it's more likely you actually connect and invite someone. We all live by our calendars these days. So if it's scheduled, it in. Yeah. So that's basically, that building consistently. If you building that habit, then you stop thinking about it. You just grow your this relationship and network naturally. And then you actually need something, you can just turn to your network. Yes. So you're building a network, you're being helpful. At the moment that you will need something and you will need some help, you have these people to call. And I always say also, when someone in your network put the open to work page, for example, check in with them, just see how they're going. Even if you don't have any jobs or anything, or like any, like you think useful connections, but it will be so nice, just to check in and say, like, is everything okay? What are you looking for? Do you want me to introduce anyone in my network? You never know. When I was looking for a job in the beginning of this year, there was a few people who reached out to me when I said that I'm looking for another gig. It was really nice. So I didn't ask them. They just saw that I'm looking for new opportunities, and they gave me a call and asked what's happening, what's next, who they can introduce me. So it was really, really nice, because I've already built this network and I connected with people. I invited to my live streams. I invite them to other events. So when I needed some help, they were well for me. So it definitely works both ways. And also, and you can also be really helpful just online. So it's not, face-to-face is obviously important, but it's amazing these days how you can build a really, really great relationship online. So, there's Mark watching this webinar. He's in New Zealand, we never met, face to face, but like I know Mark is here, he's watching this live stream. I already feel like I know him, like if I need some help, I can reach out and ask. And I know if the Mark will reach out for some help, I'll reply. So it's amazing how, like, without any sort of in-person interaction, now you can actually build these connections. James is here, like all this here, always listening to my webinars, met him in a tech walk. So even if we don't meet in person so often, we already have this connection and trust. So I think, don't obviously, in-person connections are important, but don't underestimate how actually powerful online connections can be these days as well. And obviously you can connect with way more broader audience too. So yeah, here we go, Mark. So true. I think that's probably, I'll stop here. I don't want to go forever. So it's supposed to be a bit of a Q&A session, not just me talking. So obviously, if you're not in my meetup group, make sure to join me. And if you're not connected with me on LinkedIn, make sure to connect with me on LinkedIn. But before I kind of like, jump into some wrapping up things, so I would love to hear any questions. So yeah, we still have some time. So if you have any questions, doesn't need to be just about networking, but try to stay on the topic. Yeah, happy to answer any questions. And I actually have a few questions for you. I'm actually really, really curious what sort of topics you want to hear in 2025. So I'm quite impressed how many people register for this, for networking tips. And the last networking session was really, really popular. So curious to know is everyone really interested in that kind of topics? Have you been enjoying my topics about different tech roles? So obviously last year we did a lot of live streams about who is a business analyst, who is enterprise architect, who is machine learning engineer. So do you want more of those topics? Do you want something more about leadership skills? Do you want more about AI and how AI is shaping the careers? Maybe even like serious about how AI is shaping each role. So yes, I would love to hear some of your ideas. What would you like to listen to in this channel in 2025? I also been considering, because networking topic bit so important for a lot of people, maybe even run some like a mini networking course on networking, like a networking marathon. I could run it for a small group of people to deep dive into networking and encourage people to build these connections. That's something I'm considering doing next year. So if there is interest out there, I know there's quite a few of you who's in my meetup group. So if you want me to organize some sort of mini course, I'm actually quite interested to organize something like this. So let me know. Let's see, there was a few questions. Thanks, Jana, for presentation. Thank you, guys. Rahul is asking, how can IT professionals balance online and offline networking opportunities to build a well-rounded professional network? I think it's also, Rahul, I think it's a personal choice. I guess, like, are you more likely to, feel comfortable connecting online or in person? I feel like you need to combine both most of the time. And it obviously depends of your time commitments too. But sort of have a think about in the beginning, what's the goals you want to achieve? And probably two goals, yeah? So goals for yourself, like what do you want to achieve through this networking, what kind of people you want to meet? And secondly, think about what you can help people with, yes? So always think about this, both sides. So it doesn't feel like, you're just hunting for some people to help you with something. Yeah. So think about both, who will be useful for you and who you can be helpful to. And think about how much time maybe you can allocate for networking. Yes, so commit. Like, for example, I run live streams every week, every Wednesday. It's a lot, but I just make some commitment to myself that every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. I'm going to go live. No matter if I have a full-time job, no matter if I, have a part-time job, I'm always rock up on Wednesday at 5:30. And for me, it's been my networking exercise. And every Wednesday, I meet some people at my live streams, and I connect with 3 new people. So that's a bit extreme. Yeah, I'm not I'm not saying that you need to run a live stream every week, but for me, it's been just incredible networking exercise. So just connecting people through those live streams, and obviously with the speakers and the people who's listening. But have a think, like, can you allocate 1 hour every week to connect with people on LinkedIn and engage with people you like with their content and reached out? And maybe can you allocate 1 hour next week to catch up one person for coffee, especially, if you're in the city. So make it organized and make it work for you. Depends of your time, and depends and also depends, like, if you actually go to the city, because city is always easier now, especially when people back to the city. So you can really customize it, but think about your goals as well. Yeah, remember, strategic, but not transactional. So still have some goals, just don't be that obviously transactional when you connect with people. Hopefully that makes sense. Shureha is saying, I'll be more interested about knowing what new things coming in AI space, especially in Australia market. Yeah, AI is really, really popular these days. I definitely want to do more live streams about AI. And thinking about that sort of concept about talking about something new in AI space, but maybe related to different career journeys. So thinking about the topics around this, maybe how AI affecting BA role, and how AI, what's new for software engineers in AI, or something like this. So could be good AI series. Mark saying, you have kept the topics relevant to what's going on in the industry. Keep it up. Thank you, Mark. Mike saying, would like to know how AI is changing the landscape for IT professional. What skills do you think we most need after 2025? Yeah, again, we did have some live stream about AI, few live streams about AI and the skills, but it feels like, it's more, we had like some prompt engineering topic and top AI skills to succeed in text, but it's almost like you can run a topic about AI every week and it will be something new. So you kind of can't go wrong with this topic. So next one, who is saying, I'm interested in discussing about the importance of IT certification in the current job market, especially for graduates. Do employees see value in this, perhaps higher education to get interviewed? That's actually good question, because I think also with AI, how it's shaping education, how quickly everything is moving. I think for graduates, people still do look at the sort of what degree you did and which uni, but I think as soon as you move further in your career, no one actually look, did you do your master's in IT or not? But yes, so definitely would be good to. We had a similar topic talking about universities versus traineeship programs a few years ago, but I think it would be good to bring this topic back because I think landscape changed again. James saying, I would be interested to talk about IT startups and how to get started in today's industry. Yeah, that's a big topic. I kind of feel like if we start talking about startups, we will drift to completely different. But maybe we can talk about some opportunities for people in IT startups in Australia. Mark saying, I get many LinkedIn connection requests. Any tips on spotting those who want only to take versus those who are genuine? Look, you never know, Mark. I mean, there's some obvious one. If someone connecting you from some online marketing, I'll give you 100,000 leads in 30 days and things like that. So you can see straight away that sometimes it's not in real people. But I'm usually quite flexible in accepting connection requests, and if the people, coming with the wrong intentions, I just disconnect later. So, I mean, it's a click of the button. So I don't overthink it, to be honest. If people want to connect, why not? You never know. There's no reason, I guess, to try to judge people just by their LinkedIn profile. I usually connect, but if the conversation is really transactional, then I can always disconnect after. That would be sort of my advice. They're saying, appreciate your efforts. Thank you, James, dedicated individual. Thank you. And thank you, Rahul. Maxim say, I'll check out those videos. Perfect, yeah, about AI. They're all saying how to penetrate in the Gen AI market, especially if I come from the different architecture. I think everyone want to talk about Gen AI. So I feel like, that will be, not surprisingly, looks like a Gen AI will be probably the most popular topic for 2025. But look, guys, you're all talking about Gen AI, but you're still here talking about networking. So obviously you do care about some human connections as well. And look, as much as we, I guess, anticipating some changes that AI will bring, I think a lot of key skills still going to remain the same in 2025. So it's hard to say what will be in the next years, but look, no one canceling, great stakeholder management, communication skills, critical thinking, and things like that. So those skills not going anywhere, at least in the next year. But look, you never know. There's obviously sometimes things accelerating quicker than we expecting it to accelerate. And also, I think I want to run the topic about AI recruitment as well, because I think a lot of people feel like AI just screening their resumes and not creating the barriers to apply for jobs. So I don't think, guys, it's as dramatic as you think. Yes, with some AI screening involved, but it's only big companies doing those ones, and it's not fully there yet. Yes, so we will see it more and more in recruitment, because with more AI generated resumes, obviously companies need to filter these AI generated resumes with AI tools. But I don't think it's as dramatic as sometimes people think, that AI just rejecting their job applications. So there is definitely a few things to discuss in that area too. Okay, so any more topic suggestions or any more questions? We have 5 more minutes before I say goodbye till the next year. So if you have some last question, happy to take it. Obviously, the usual stuff. If you're enjoying this discussion, make sure to like this video, share it, join Meetup group, join the LinkedIn group, just subscribe to YouTube channel. You know what to do. I don't need to repeat it. And of course, if you're in Melbourne, next year, we're gonna kick off the things with the tech walking. So I already scheduled next tech walking in Albert Park on the 19th of January. Hopefully it's not gonna rain. This is our last walk in November. It's been quite a miserable day, but still a lot of people rock up, so which is exciting. So we're gonna do, first event of 2025 will be Tech Walk on the 19th of January. So yes, if you're in Melbourne, please join me. So it will be great to meet face to face. And you can also join my Tech Walking LinkedIn group. So that's I post specifically these face-to-face events to connect people. So also obviously great way to connect with people who are joining the Tech Walk and keep building that community. I'm actually also thinking about maybe we can do a tech walk after working, tech walking after working. Maybe we can do 5:30 walk in the city sometime. Not sure if how many people will be up to it, but I'm considering it. So if people in Melbourne and you feel like committing to something on the weekend to go for a walk is a bit too much, you have too much kids sports and brunches and things like that, maybe we can do 5:30 on Wednesday night and go for a walk instead of live stream. So that's something to consider. And yeah, so we're gonna start online sessions in February. So I'm just confirming some topics and deciding what sort of direction to take. So in February, we'll start online sessions again at the same time. One more question here. Louis asking, have you seen any behavior change in the job market or consultant contracts market with AI when everyone can act on all assignment or job announcements? I think just the usual things here, the changes in the market, too many applications because people don't feel like they need to spend too much time now to customize applications to each job post, and which probably make the networking even more important because it's hard to say, sometimes obviously, like I hope people don't lie in their resumes, but it's hard to say then if someone applying for a job, did they just customize the resume specifically to show these projects, or is this person actually, quite confident in the skills? And that's why I feel like that referral and network actually will be more important in 2025 than just applying for jobs. It will be just much harder to stand out online with online jobs applications than it was before generative AI. So yeah, that's why obviously we're talking about networking, so that human connections and industry events. So yeah, so using AI to fix competence gaps. Yeah, that's why, be real. And also LinkedIn profiles, I think, becomes more important as well, because when you fill your LinkedIn profile, you can't just easily change it for each job application. So I think more and more hiring managers actually clicking on LinkedIn profiles just to make sure that whatever they see in the resume, it's not different, it's not just made up, and it's actually connect to the LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a social proof, yeah? So you're not gonna tag some company, you don't gonna tag NZ Bank that you were working there if you didn't work there, because NZ Bank will see it, yeah? So, and your colleagues will see it and will be like, work there. So that's why it's that LinkedIn actually have a bit more power of this like social proof over AI generated resumes. Like saying tech working group is a great idea. Thank you. Tech working is awesome. Thank you, guys. Some of the events would be good, like other activities. Yes, I was gonna do some tech yoga and stuff, but yeah, just didn't get there. Coffee drinking, yeah. Yeah, that would be good. So I think, yeah, one day we'll do tech surfing, yeah. When I get enough people who can go for a surf with me, we'll do a tech surfing event. We hire whole urban surf, yeah, and go for big tech surfing. One day, guys. But at this point, tech walking is definitely on. Maybe we'll try different times a day. Maybe try different locations. And basically, I really looking forward to see in 2025. Have a wonderful Christmas break. I hope everyone has something great planned and some interesting things. So just nice family celebrations. So I hope everyone have something nice planned over this break. I'm, as I said, not going to be online till February. but I'll see people in Melbourne on the 19th of January for the tech walk. So enjoy, and really looking forward to continue this channel next year. You guys, if tech walking on the Sunshine Coast, Christine, maybe you need to organize tech walking on the Sunshine Coast. So maybe you can be, the leader of Sunshine Coast tech walking. Always happy to chat about the ideas. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I'll see you in 2025.